Shalom and welcome to this week's Hebrew class, and I hope you've been enjoying these classes and being able to follow them without too much difficulty. Well, today's lesson comes to us from Yehuchanan, John 16 verses 13 to 18. So let us now begin. And as you see every week, we have the Nikud, the valve markings, and these great useful resources which help us a lot in understanding the root meanings of words, which we are always trying to decipher. And I hope you're understanding the prefixes and the suffixes as we go along. So let us begin now. And as we can see, we're in verse 13, which of course is represented with the Yod value of 10 and a Gimel value of 3, remembering that that's based on the order of the letters in the alphabet. So the Gimel is 3 and the Yod is 10. And we have the letters being Vav, Resh, Vav, Chet, Hey, Aleph, Mem, Tav, Bayet, Vayet, Aleph, Vav, Hey, Vav, Aleph, Yod, Dalet, Resh, Yod, Kaf, Sofit, Aleph, Tav, Kaf, Mem, Sofit, Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Aleph, Mem, Tav, Kaf, Lamed, and Hey. And just looking at some of the vowels, here where we've got a vowel next to the letter, it changes the Vav to a U. And of course, because there's no dagesh in this one, it means it's a vayet rather than a bayet. Right, and that's about it. We will now begin our reading, which is the Ruach and the Spirit. Ruach can mean spirit. It can also mean wind. So, and the Spirit, and then I've added of, ha'emet, meaning the truth, of the truth. Be-vo-o. And of course the O at the end is usually is where we find the pronouns. It means his, in his coming. Because we know the vo means to come, right? Who, he, yad, reek, shall direct. Now we can see the root word is derek, feminine noun for way, road, route, path. Or direct as a col verb means to walk on, to tread, example grapes and olives, or to step on. That's in a verb. And then I've got derek is a verb to guide, to direct. Right, so, and that's why we get shall direct. And then et kem, grammar marker, you, el to, ha'emet, to the truth. Kulam, now we know the kul can mean all, right? So I put it all because the hey at the end, with especially because dagesh in it, it's your pronoun. So it can mean it all, or all of it. So when the Spirit of truth comes, he shall guide you into the entire truth. All right, now let us read that without any benefit from the transliteration. And we have the Ruach ha'emet bevo'o hu yad rik et kem el ha'emet kulam. Okay, and we can move to the second part of that verse, and we have Kaf Yod, Lamed Aleph, Yod Dalet, Bayet Resh, Mem Ayin, Zadeh Mem Vav, Kaf, Yod, Aleph, Mem Safit, Aleph Shin Resh, Yod Shin Mem Ayin, Yod Dalet, Bayet Resh. And then we have Vav, Hey, Aleph, Tav, Yod, Vav, and Tav. So let us now read. And it is ki, which can mean for, it can mean that, but for, lo, not Yadaber, he shall speak, because the yod gives us the future tense. Me'atzmo, from himself. So if we look down here, atzem is a masculine noun for oneself. It's very specific. And of course, atzmo is a noun for himself or personally. Right, so then we have ki and then followed by im. And often those two will give you the word but. And then asher can mean what, can mean that which, whom. So what? Yes, ma, he shall hear. And then we have yedaber, and he shall speak. Vaha otiyot, right? Vaha otiyot, which is and the signs, because we know that ot means sign. Right, so now we have the entire truth from the previous verse. For he will not speak from himself, but rather he shall speak what he hears and what is to come. So I've put down here ot as a masculine noun is sign, omen, indication. Right, so now let us read that without any help. Ki, lo, yedaber, me'atzmo, ki im, asher, yishma, yedaber, v'ha'otiyot. Very good. And we now move to part C, and we have a lamed, aleph, chet, vav. Remember but it's an O sound, right? Resh, yod, gimel, yod, dalet, lamed, kaf, and mem. So fit. So what do we have? We have le'achor, le'achor. For after, because we know achor I've got down as a col verb for backward, afterwards, reversely, or later. For after or later, right? Yagid, he shall tell. Lakem, to you. Right. And it says the signs from before. For what is to come, he shall tell you. And let us read that now. Le'achor yagid lakem. And we are in now verse 14, represented with the yod value of 10 and the dalet value of 4. And then we have a hey vav aleph. Yod, Fe, Aleph, Resh, Nun, Yod, Kaf, Yod, Mem, Shin, Lamed, Yod, Yod, Kaf, Chet, Vav, Yod, Gimel, Yod, Dalet, Lamed, Kaf, and Mem, so fit. And we read it. Who, which normally means he. Yafa'areni, shall magnify me. So, it has its root down here in pe'er, which is a PL verb, to glorify, to beautify, to magnify, to adorn. So shall magnify me. And of course the ni at the end is me. And the yod is future tense. Shall magnify me. Ki for me shali. For me shali. From belonging to me, for from belonging to me. And if we look down here, shall is a prep, and it can mean belonging to, of, or made of. So from belonging to me, yikach, he shall take. Because lekach, of course, is to take, right? But the lamed dropped off, and it's just kach, so shall take. Ve yagid. and it means and shall tell it, because higid is a verb to tell, to inform. And then we have lakem, which is to you. So he shall glorify me, for he shall take from what is mine and tell you. So we will now read it. Hu ye fa'areni ki mi sheli yikach v'yagid lakem. And now we come to 15. Now this is an unusual one. It's represented by the tet with a value of 9 and the vav with a value of 6, giving us 6 and 9, meaning 15. Then we have a kaf, lamed, aleph, shin, resh, lamed, aleph, vayed, yod, lamed, yod, hey, vav, aleph, ayin, lamed, kaf, nun, safid, aleph, mem, resh, tav, yod, kaf, yod, mem, shin, lamed, and yod. So now let's read that. Beginning from here, it is kol, meaning all. Asher that le avi, to my father, li, to me, who. Now who normally means he, but it can also mean it. So I've put it is. Al-ken is normally translated as therefore. Amarti, I have said, or I said. Ki, for. Mi shali, which is from, belonging to me. The yod is me, from belonging to me. So we see down here, al-ken. Al-ken is a conjunction. It can mean therefore, for this reason, and about so. So now let us look at that. First the English. Everything that is my father's is mine. Therefore I said, from what is mine. And so we read it. Kol, asher, le avi, li, who, al-ken, amarti, ki, mi sheli. And coming to 15b, we have a yod, kuf, chet, vav, yod, gimel, yod, dalet, lamed, kaf, and mem sofit. And it is yikach, meaning he shall take. V'yagid, and he shall tell. Lakem, to you. So in English, he shall take and tell you. And it is yikach v'yagid lakem. And then we have a tet, again a value of 9, and a zion, a value of 7, and we get, of course, 16. Then we have hey, nun safit, mem, ayin, tet, vav, lamed, aleph, tav, resh, aleph, vav, nun, yod, vav, ayin, vav, dalet, mem, ayin, tet, vav, tav, chet, zion, vav, nun, yod. And we read it, hen, which can mean a short form of hine, which hen meaning behold, ma'at, which could be a little, because ma'at means little, right? Behold a little, and then they add to it time. It means, because it's talking about time, I guess, but it's just assumed we understand. Velo, and not. Tir uni, you shall see me. So, the you is the vav here, that's you shall see, because we know ra'ah means to see. And then ni is me. So we got two pronouns at the end and a prefix at the beginning. So you just got to learn to identify them. The odd, and still, me'at, a little time again. The techezuni, the techezuni, you shall look at me. So it's a different word for to see, so therefore we have it down here. Chazeh is a kal verb to look at. It can even mean to foresee. So you shall look at me. So now what's the English? In a little while and you shall not see me, but a little longer and you shall behold me. Right, now let us read that. Hen me'at v'lo tir'uni v'od me'at v'techezuni. And part B of 16, and we have a kaf, a yod, an aleph, a nun, a yod. Hey lamed, kaf sofit, aleph lamed, aleph veit yod. And we read, ki, for, ani, I or I am. Holek, which can mean going. Going, we know the halak can mean walk, can mean to go, to even to follow, right? Holek, so for I am going. L2, Avi, my father. So we've got to realize often that words have meanings based on context as well. That's how Hebrew differs sometimes. So from the previous verse, you shall behold me, because I am going to my father. And so let us read that. Ki ani holek el avi. And we have 17, which has a yod, value of 10, and a zayin, value of, that should be 7, not 2. That's a mistake, right? So it's 17. Then we have vav, mem, kuf, zare, tav. Tav lamed mem yod dalet yod vav. Nun dalet beit resh vav. Aleph yod shin. Aleph lamed. Aleph chet yod vav. Lamed aleph mem resh mem hey. Aleph mem resh and vav. So now let us read that. Umiksat. Umiksat. From some of. So let's have a look. Kasat is an adjective. It can mean some, a little, a few. So, and from some of, Talmidayev. Talmidayev, it means his disciples. Again, the ending is a pronoun, his. And with the yod, it's like plural there, right? So disciples. And then we have nidberu. Nidberu, they discussed. Now we see the bear in the middle means to speak. And it means the nun is like a completed action. They discussed. It was discussed. They discussed. Down here I put it. Nidbar, a verb to discuss, to converse. So that's how they add to the word to speak. By putting a nun, it means to be discussed, right? And then ish is a man. L2, achiv, meaning his brother. Lemor, saying. Ma, what, or what is. Ro, he saying, because we know Amer means to say. So he is saying. Right, and a few of his disciples discussed this, one to another, saying, what is he saying? Right, so now let us read that. And it is U Mik Sat Tal Mi Dayev Nid Beru Ish El Achiv Lemor Ma Amro. Right. And we got part B of 17, which has an Aleph, Lamed, Yod, Nun, Vav, Hey, Nun, Safit, Mem, Ayin, Tet, Vav, Lamed, Aleph, Tav, Resh, Aleph, Vav, Nun, Yod, Vav, Ayin, Vav, Dalet, Mem, Ayin, Tet, Vav, Tav, Chet, Zion, Vav, Nun, and Yod. So back to the beginning. Eleinu, unto us. So we've got El, which is two, right? So unto us. Hen, behold, again, it's a short form of hine. Behold, me'at, a little, velo, and not, tir uni, you shall see me, the odd, and still me'at, a little, the techezuni, you shall look upon me, which we had before, right? What is he saying to us? In a little while, and you shall not see me, but a little longer, and you shall behold me. And again, I've repeated, chazeh, meaning to look at, to watch, to anticipate. And so we read it. Eleinu hen me'at velo tiruni ve'od me'at ve'techezuni. And now we come to part C, which is a Vav, an Aleph, a Mem, a Resh, and a Vav. Aleph, Nun, Yod, Hey, Lamed, Kaf, Safit. Aleph, Lamed, Aleph, Vet, Yod. And it is the Amro, and he's saying, Ani, I am, Holek, going, El to Avi, my father. And you behold me, and saying, I am going to my father. So let us read that now, which is the Amro Ani Holek El Avi. And now we're right up to verse 18 now. Represented with a Yod value of 10 and a Chet value of 8. Is Vav, Yod, Aleph, Mem, Resh, Vav, Mem, Hey, Aleph, Mem, Resh, Vav, Mem, Ayin, Tet, Lamed, Aleph, Yod, Dalet, Ayin, Nun, Vav, Mem, Hey, Dalet, Beit, Resh. And we read, Vayomru, and they said, Ma, what or what is? Amro, he's saying, Me'at, a little, or a little time. Lo, not. Yadanu, we do know. Ma, what? The bear, meaning he speaks, what he speaks. They said, what is he saying? A little while. We do not know what he is speaking about. And then we read it. Vayomru, ma, amro, me'at lo, yadanu, ma, di bear. Very good. They said, what is he saying? A little while. We do not know what he is speaking about. So that's your translation. And now we are going to see what we can discover, what we remember in this. And we know that we begin here with the Yod, 10, and Gimel, 3. So we're in verse 13. Ruach, and the Spirit, ha'emet, of the truth. Be'vo'o, when he, in his coming. Who? He. Yadrik, shall direct. Because its root, of course, is the way, right? Direct. Et kem, you, grammar marker with you. L2, ha'emet, the truth. Kulam, all of it, or it all. And the Spirit of the truth, in his coming, he shall direct, grammar marker you, to the truth, it all. And then we start here. Ki, for, lo, not. Yadaber, he shall speak. Me'atzmo, from himself. Ki im, but, asher what. Yishma, he shall hear. Yadaber, he shall speak. V'ha'otiyot, and the signs. So, for not, he shall speak from himself, but what he shall hear, he shall speak, and the signs. Le'achor, for after, or later. Yagid, he shall tell lakem, to you. For after he shall tell to you. And then we come to Yod 10, Dalet 4, 14. Who, which should be he. Yifa'areni, so he shall glorify me. Ki, for, me, shali, meaning from belonging to me. Yikach, he shall take. V'yagid, and he shall tell. Lakem, to you. He shall magnify me, for from belonging to me he shall take and shall tell it to you. Then we have a tet, value of 9, a vav, value of 6. So we have 9 and 6, that's 15. Kol, all, a share that. Le'avi is to my father. Li, to me, who, and that can be it. Al can, therefore, amarti, I say, ki, that, shali, from, belonging to me. All that to my father, to me it is, therefore I said, from belonging to me. Yikach, he shall take, vayagid, and he shall tell, lakem, to you. He shall take and he shall tell to you. And then we come to Tet, Zion, which is 9, and 7, which is 16. Hen, behold, ma'at, a little, velo, and not, tir uni, you shall see me. Ve'ot, and still, me'at, a little, V'techezuni, you shall behold, you shall look at. And then ni is me, right? Behold a little time, and not you shall see me, and still a little time, and you shall look at me. Ki, for, ani, I am, holek, going, L2, avi, my father. For I am going to my father. And then we have Yod 10, Zion 7. We're in 17 now. U miksat. Miksat is from some of then. Talmidayev, his disciples, nid beru, they discussed. Ish, a man, el to achiv, his brother, lemor, saying, what, ma, what, ro, is he saying? Or he said. And from some of his disciples they discussed a man to his brother, saying, what is he saying? And then we have Elenu, unto us, hen behold, ma'at a little, velo and not, tiruni, you shall see me, the odd and still or until me'at a little, the techezuni, and you shall chazah, which is look upon, me. Unto us, behold a little time, and not you shall see me, and still a little time, and you will look upon me. The ro, and he's saying, ani, I am, holek, going, el to avi, my father. And he's saying, I am going to my father. And then we have yod, 10, chet, 8. Va yom ru. And they said, ma what, ro, he's saying, me'at a little, lo not, yadanu, meaning we shall know, ma what diber, he speaks. And they said, what is he saying? A little time not, and we do know, or we shall know, what he speaks. And that brings us to the end of that lesson, but let us revise exactly the vowels, because that is so important, because without the vowels we will have difficulty, especially when we're not grown up as a Hebrew or so. So we have, to begin with, the top line, cholam, which is the O sound, cho. Then we have a shavah, which basically breaks up the word into syllables, but we'll often find it can have a short E vowel sound or none, depending whether it's the end or the beginning of a syllable. And then we have segol. Segol has the E sound, short E sound. Zere has a long E sound. So we've got to remember the long and the short, right? And then we have patak, short A sound, kamatz, long A sound. And we'll leave it there for these. And just a reminder of the counting, because we dealt with some counting and we dealt with some tricky counts, right? So let's have a look at this line. Zion has a value of 7, Chet has a value of 8, Tet has a value of 9, Yod has a value of 10, Kaf has a value of 20, and Lamed has a value of 30. And again, I've repeated the resources, which are very useful. And the dictionary is great when we're trying to understand the meaning of the root words, and they're usually 3-letter roots, which you can then look up to get the root, and then that separates the root from the prefix or the suffix. And as we saw, we can have more than one suffix, which it might be more than one pronoun at the end, because pronouns are often at the end, but they can also occasionally be at the beginning. So I just hope that all these lessons do help you in your learning, and they give you just an interest more in understanding the Hebrew, so that we can actually look up into especially the Tanakh, where it is in Hebrew form. We can actually see what the translation is compared to what we can discern out of understanding the Hebrew. So we'd like to just thank you for joining us, and we do pray that you are blessed by these lessons. So I want to wish you a Shavua Tov, a good week to you. Amen.